Ethan Carter had it all: wealth, success, and admiration. As a self-made businessman, he had built his empire from the ground up. He lived in a penthouse that offered breathtaking views of the city skyline, drove luxury cars that turned heads at every intersection, and attended exclusive galas where he was always the center of attention. People hung on to his every word, eager to be in his good graces. Every morning, he woke up to an overflowing inbox: business proposals, invitations, congratulatory messages. His phone never stopped ringing. His name carried weight, his presence commanded respect. And why wouldn't it? He was a success story, a man who had climbed his way to the top through intelligence, charm, and ruthless determination. But life has a way of humbling even the strongest. Then, it all crumbled. A series of bad investments, market crashes, and betrayals from people he trusted drained his fortune overnight. One moment, he was at the top of the world; the next, he was drowning in debt. The luxurious apartment? Seized. The fancy cars? Sold to pay off creditors. The high-status friends? Vanished, as if they had never known him. The phone calls that once never stopped now ceased entirely. The same people who had once showered him with admiration now avoided his gaze. He reached out, desperate for help. But his calls went unanswered, his messages ignored. It was as if he had become invisible overnight. The world he had once ruled had moved on without him. For the first time in years, Ethan felt something foreign: fear. Not the fear of losing money, but the fear of being truly alone. And in that moment, he realized a brutal truth: many had been drawn to his success, but few had ever cared about him. Ethan found himself standing outside a rundown motel, the last bit of money in his pocket barely enough for a few nights. The reality of his situation hit hard. He had no one to call. No safety net. The same city that once admired him now treated him as invisible. He walked aimlessly, trying to hold on to dignity. Hunger gnawed at him, and exhaustion weighed on his shoulders. The world moved on, indifferent to his suffering. One evening, as he sat on a park bench wondering how his life had unraveled so quickly, a voice interrupted his thoughts. Rough day? Ethan looked up and saw an old man, clothes tattered but eyes full of wisdom. I've had better, Ethan muttered. The man chuckled. Welcome to the bottom, son. You'd be surprised who stays when you've got nothing left. That night, Ethan met people he never would have noticed before: James, a former teacher who lost everything after a family tragedy; Rosa, an elderly woman abandoned by her own children; and Benny, a young runaway with dreams still flickering in his tired eyes. They shared what little they had with him, not because they expected something in return, but because they understood what it meant to lose everything. Over the next few weeks, Ethan learned the true meaning of generosity, not the kind measured in dollar signs, but the kind found in acts of kindness, in a shared meal, in words of encouragement. For the first time in years, he listened. He learned that James still tutored children at a local shelter, despite having no home of his own. Rosa spent her nights knitting scarves to give to those who were colder than she was. Benny, despite having nothing, dreamed of becoming a musician and played his old, battered guitar for anyone who needed a reason to smile. He had spent years chasing wealth, but in his darkest moments, it wasn't money that saved him, it was people. People who had nothing yet gave everything. Ethan found work at a small cafe owned by a kind-hearted couple who believed in second chances. It was humbling, serving coffee instead of making million-dollar deals, but it was honest. It was real. Months passed, and with time, he rebuilt himself. Not with wealth, but with purpose. He started a program at the shelter, using his business knowledge to help others regain stability. He reconnected with his family, with the people who had truly cared but whom he had neglected in his pursuit of success. One evening, as Ethan sat with James, Rosa, and Benny under the city lights, he realized something profound. Life will strip you bare. It will take away your titles, your possessions, and your illusions. And when that happens, you'll see the truth: the people who remain when you have nothing are the ones who were never there for what you had, but for who you are. Ethan smiled, no longer the man he once was, but a better version of himself. Because in losing everything, he had found what truly mattered. The end. Message to readers: life is unpredictable, and success is never guaranteed. But one thing remains certain: true relationships are not built on wealth, power, or status. They are built on love, loyalty, and kindness. The people who stand by you in your darkest times are the ones who truly matter. Cherish them, appreciate them, and never take them for granted.